step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with global.media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
Yes, spring. For me, I'm always excited. I'm always looking forward to a new week. Why? Because it's all about spreading positivity. One person, two-person, and 1 million people at a time. So if you're joining us right now from the live stream, can you drop a comment? Tell us where you are tuning in from. Because we have a global audience who always join us every Friday, from all the continent in the world. We are so privileged to have people join us from all the continents, from all many countries out there. Why? Because for us, it's all about positivity, building a community where people are seen, where people are heard, where people are valuable, and is a space where everyone feels so important. So welcome again. If this is your first time, this is our positivity live stream where all the discussion that we are having is centered on the foundation of positivity. So it does not matter who you are right now, it does not matter where you're from. We especially welcome you. Why? Because in this space, everyone matters. In this space, everyone is important. Don't forget, keep dropping the comment. Let us know that you are here with us. Now, it's always an open space for everyone to be able to contribute, to participate, and be part of the conversation. Why? Because we believe that everyone has a unique story. My story is different from your story. Just the same way our faces are different. That's the same way our stories, our lessons are different. And the ability for us to be able to bring these stories to limelight, to inspire more people, to impact more people, to give people hope and faith to keep living their life. That's where the real transformation, the real change, the real positive impact is being made. So feel free. You want to be part of the conversation, you want to join us on stage, we always have the link ready for you. For those of us who are joining in from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from Facebook, from Twitch, as the case may be, that's the link on your screen. You want to be part of the conversation? Feel free, click on it. It's going to bring you in the backstage so that you can be able to join us. As you know, I don't do this event all by myself. I already have my co-host with me, and then Mr. Eni is in the backstage, just waiting for nothing in bed. Mr. Eni, if you're ready, can kindly come up. I know you can do that. So you can kindly come up on stage. It's so amazing why I'm all the way in Nigeria. Jamie is all the way in the United States. Annie is in the UK. Isa is on the US. Lydia is in the US. We have people all over the world, but with the power of media, we can sit on the same table and have a powerful conversation that can transform your life, that can impact you. For us, it's good and it's not something we take for granted. And that's why we keep bringing this to amplify our voices, to share the light on us, and to be able to use our stories to make a positive impact in the world. You know, people are going through so much in this time and in this season. And the most amazing thing is they might not come to tell you that this is what they're going through. They might not have that personal relationship with you to tell you, oh, this is actually what I'm really going through right now. But it's okay. That's why we are here. Whether you tell us or you don't tell us, we believe that every conversation we have resonates with you. We believe that every nugget, every wisdom shared, every thought shared resonate with you, and in one way or the other, it's going to help you to go through this difficult season that you are right now. And to anyone out there who might be going through a difficult season right now, that be going through a challenging time right now, we just want to encourage and to remind you that you are not alone. Yeah, sometimes it can be so overwhelming, it can be so challenging, it can be so difficult. You get to a point where you feel like you want to give up. It's okay to feel like that. We've all been in that place before. We've all felt like that before. But having a community, having friends, having cycles who can be able to inspire you, to share their words with you, to share their energy with you. That's why we are here to build ourselves in positivity and help us to continue to inspire one another out there in the world. So, if you are joining us for the first time, my name is Zion Inogero, your Mr. Positive Energy, a man who is on a mission to spread positivity to every corner of the earth, 1 million people at a time. I'm a positivity coach and mentor. I help people embrace the power of positivity intentionally because positivity is beyond a word, it's beyond a phrase, it's beyond a caption, it's a lifestyle that we intentionally live every day and being able to, to hold you by the hand, to hold you accountable, and show you how to embrace it is what I do. And I also host online events just like this to help people amplify their voices and share their message to reach out to more audience all over the world. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to my co-host. It's a very powerful conversation today, the role of emotional intelligence in building positive relationship. We've spoken about how to support women, how to support men, how to create emotional safety for people to be able to share. But now we are dealing on the importance of emotional intelligence in building positive relationship. Don't go anywhere. Sit down. Stay glued to your mobile phone, to your screen, or to your laptop, whatever it is that you are joining us from, because today promises to be another empowering conversation. King Jamie, it's so good to have you. Happy Friday, brother. How are you? Please tell us who
I'm
you are and how you help people.
Yes, awesome. Happy Friday. Good to see you too. Any welcome to the conversation. Good to see you coming on stage. Annie's our first speaker. I was joking. Good to see you, Annie. Yes, so thank you all for being here. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. We're already at the end of July almost, and as Zion told you, we have a great conversation today, talking about obviously understanding our emotions, how to respond to emotions of others, and are we bringing positivity into those relationships, right? Or are we letting those emotions get the best of us? So we got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. For those who don't know me, I am Jamie Edwards. I am coming to you, as Zion told you, from the United States. I am right in the Midwest, in Illinois, a little bit outside of the big city of Chicago. And what I do is I help many, many job seekers with their job search. Yes, I help job seekers with writing resumes. I help job seekers with interview practice so they can nail their interview and feel really good when they leave that interview and get that job faster. I help people with their LinkedIn profiles as well. I help them redo their LinkedIn profile so they become more visible to recruiters and hiring managers. The name of my company is Jam Sessions with Jamie. I've been doing this now for over 3 years. I've worked with over 1,000 different job seekers, everywhere from college graduates all the way to executives, right? And vice presidents and people who are in those C-suite type roles. So I've kind of worked with everybody throughout different parts of their career. Like I said, I focus on 3 different things. I help people with their resumes. I write them from scratch. So I'll take someone's resume, redo the entire thing, make it ATS friendly, so that way they can get more interviews and stop receiving those rejection emails, right? Because those can be super frustrating throughout a job search. I help people with interview practice. So some people's resumes are really good, but maybe they need help with public speaking and interview practice and being able to portray themselves in an interview. I help people from start to finish, how to prepare for interviews, how to answer certain types of questions during the interview process, and how to negotiate salary. So I focus on those 3 different things. I also do the LinkedIn optimization too. So some people, maybe they're not really certain how to grow on LinkedIn, how to get more followers, how to get more recruiters to find their page. So I help them with their banner, their about me section, their headline, their content creation strategy, and how to make posts that get them noticed. So I'll revamp their entire profile so that way they can at least get more visibility and get more interviews. So like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years on my own. It's just me, very small business. There's nobody else who works with me. I mean, maybe one day I'll expand, but for now, I like to be the only one that handles things because I like people to know that they're working directly with me, right? So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to talk about today's conversation. And, I don't know if the chat's going. I don't see anyone right now. I don't think per se in the chat, but if you are in here, make sure you are shouting out where you're from. Let us know, what, add to the conversation in the chat. And if you want to come up on stage, there is a link right at the top that Zion posted. Zion just disappeared, I think. We'll be back. Yes, click on the link and you can join here. And we're going to let Any talk a little bit more. Wow, Zion's jumping around. He was in the top corner, and now he's in the bottom corner. All right, he's just kind of moving around there. So I'm going to pass it over to Any so he can introduce himself, and then we will start kicking off the topic at hand and talk a little bit more about today's emotional intelligence conversation. So, Any, over to you.
Science, Jamie. There's more than one, right? No.
Yes.
Well, so welcome everyone. So great to be here. It's our Friday as always. Eni Osang, my company is Global.media, and we do books. Well, we do authors really. We help authors to get, get their books planned, written, published, and then sold. I spend my days doing what I do best, which is working on books. Now, today's book, I was just finishing up the edit of one of our 3 books that are coming out soon. And then we're going to launch the book. Now, there's still a bit in between where we have to do some fundraising for the book. These are things that we do that others don't do. So we help people to raise money to fund their book. If any of that interests you, maybe you've got a book idea, don't know where to start, then let's talk. Maybe you've written a book, but not published it. It's on your, it's on your computer somewhere, or maybe even worse, on your floor somewhere in sheets of paper. Let's talk. Let's get your book published. And if you publish a book and it's not selling, it's on Amazon gathering dust, then again, let's talk. We want to help you sell those books. Your book only matters when people actually read the book, right? So of course we do events like this for our authors as part of the book launch, part of the bestseller campaign. There's many things we do, Jamie. So for now, I'll just say if you need help with your book, let's talk. Mrs. Z, are you talking to us today? The mic is yours, my friend. Yeah. No, we've lost your sound. Your sound is in and out.
Yes, we need that voice. We need that voice.
And I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, there you are. Now we can hear you, brother.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I think the glitches is everywhere. Even LinkedIn is having these glitches as well. The events, we are not live on LinkedIn yet, but we are live on YouTube, we are live on Twitch, we are live on Facebook. But LinkedIn said we cannot go live today on LinkedIn, but it's okay. We're already here. Thank you so much, King Jimmy. Thank you so much, Mr. Eni, for introducing yourself and sharing with us how we are able to help people. So if you are here with us, the YouTube link is kindly there. Maybe the LinkedIn is not popping up right now because of some issues I don't know. But then you can actually join us live on YouTube and also be part of the live stream. We are everywhere. That's one of the major reasons why we try to reach out to more people by being able to stream on different platforms to give more people access to be able to reach out to us. All right, we already have somebody joining us on YouTube already. Professor Rosanna is in the building. Professor Rosie. You say hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Yes, guys, keep dropping in your comments. And if you want to be part of the conversation, you want to join us on stage, the link is already in the comment for all the platforms you are joining us from. We have the restream link in all the platforms ready for you. So kindly click on it. It's going to bring you on the backstage where you can be able to join us on stage. Like I said earlier, your story matters. What you have to say matters so much to us. And for us, we want to amplify your voices and let more people get to know you. Now, today's conversation, it's more like a series from what we have been talking about, for some few weeks now, all the month of July. For those of you who have been following us, remember we started how we can support men. And from there, we spoke about how we can support women. And then from there, we spoke about how we can create a safe space for people to be able to share, for people to feel safe emotionally. And today, We are talking about the role of emotional intelligence in building positive relationships. Now, every relationship we see today, no matter the longevity of the relationship, no matter the closeness of the relationship, is built based on mutual understanding, is built based on mutual respect, is built based on the ability for me to know you more, you know me more, and then it gives me more room to be able to relate with you. Most relationships are built on this. And that's why I'm bringing this conversation in right now for people to know that your emotion has a huge role to play in the kind of relationship you keep. Your emotion has a huge role to play in how long you keep relationship, in how much people want to know you, in how much people want to do business with you, in how much people want to relate with you. Our emotion plays a key role. So business relationship doesn't just happen by chance. Life relationship doesn't just happen by chance. Whatever kind of relationship you're looking for, marriage relationship, marital relationship, friendship, or any kind of relationship, does not happen by chance. Our emotion play a key role. And the ability for us to be able to be aware, to nurture, to grow our emotion is at the center of every relationship we do. Yes, we have William Rocher in the building. William, thank you so much for joining us. We see you join us all the way from YouTube. Well done, brother. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Shouting also Mr. Any out. It's so amazing to have people join us on all these platforms. Welcome. Keep dropping the comments. Tell us where you are joining us from so that the world can know that you are here with us. So for me, over time, I've been on a journey of building relationships. And if there's one thing I've understood or I've learned, and I keep learning every day, is that how I feel most of the time determines how I see people. So my feelings towards you determines how I see you, determines how I will love you, determines how I will honor you, determines how we appreciate you. So I thought, wow, if this has really helped me, I think this can really help a lot of people to really understand that your emotion is key. Yes, how you feel is valid. The way you feel is valid. By the end of the day, the validation of how you feel is not all there is. The validation of what you feel at the moment is not all there is. There is more to our emotion. Because at the end of the day, I've heard people say, this is who I am. This is how I talk. This is how I react. Yes, at that point, it might be how you talk, it might be how you react, but there is more. You can learn. You can groom yourself. You can nurture how you react. You can learn better on how you react. For me, growing up, I used to easily get angry and I used to easily get fed up. Why? Because I was always seeing things from my perspective. It's not like it's the way I saw it. It's the way I processed it. It's the way I assume what happened. I never really give a thought to, oh, if this person acted this way, there is something that made the person to act this way. If this person is angry with me, there is something that is making this person angry with me. If this person is shouting or reacting the way they are, something is involved. People don't just react because for the sake of reaction. Something triggers them, something made them do what they do. But the ability for me to understand from people's perspective, beyond my perspective, has really helped me so much emotionally, to build positive and long-lasting relationship. A few years ago, one of my mentors always tell me, Zion, it's not all about you. I like, yes, I might have an important. He said, I know. But at the end of the day, it's not all about you because you are not the only person in the world. Your ideology is not other people's ideology. The way you were groomed is not the way other persons were groomed. Your journey of personal development is not other people's journey of personal development. The books you've read to gain knowledge, people have not read it. The seminars you've attended to get to be where you are today, people have not attended that same seminar. So if they act the way they are, it's based on what they know. So if you feel you know better, put yourself in their shoes to understand where they are coming from. For me, that really changed my life a whole lot. A 360 turnaround where before I react to things, before I assume anything, I try to put myself in people's shoes. In other words, I role play in my head. So I see myself as any and I see any as myself. So in other words, if I was to be in the other side, how would I react? If I was supposed to be shouting, will I have shouted at myself? Will I beat myself up? No, I wouldn't. So that for me has really opened my mind to be able to, build relationship. And one of the major points for me is self-awareness. We all know ourselves. To be honest with you, you know yourself more than anything. You know yourself. You know your likes. You know your dislikes. You know the things that triggers you. You know the things that moves you. You know the things you are excited about. So when it comes to the role of emotional intelligence in building lasting and positive relationship, being self-aware is key. So by self-awareness is knowing what triggers you, knowing what excites you, knowing how you respond. It goes a long way to help you to, by the time you know yourself, because when it comes to building relationship, it starts from you building relationship with yourself first before you can build relationship with others. It's not magical. A lot of people want to build relationship with others, but they've not first built relationship with themselves. For me, over time, I learned to build relationship with myself, loving myself, liking myself, respecting myself, honoring myself, treating myself with grace. And because I can do that, it allows me to translate that towards other person. The Bible says, love others as you love yourself. And as you will love yourself. So for me, understanding that as I will love myself, I have to love others that way. So it starts from me. So I'm aware about myself. I'm aware about my strength. I'm aware that I need to love myself first. I'm aware that I need to appreciate myself first. I'm aware that I need to pay more attention to me. And because I can do that, it really helped me to translate that to be able to love others. And I tell you, from loving me to loving others has really helped me to build lasting relationship, has really helped me to be able to understand people more. Now, I said earlier that we all have different perspectives, we all have different background, we all have different ideology. But then, for me to treat you with so much grace and so much empathy, it's very, very important when it comes to emotional. I was talking to somebody, within the week, and we were just talking about what happened and their experiences about life and how somebody else spoke to them that they didn't like it that way. And my question is, did you know why they spoke? Am I supposed to know why? Am I supposed to even pay attention? I'm like, okay. Well, at some point in the moment, of course, we react the way we react because we feel that we are not supposed to understand where people are coming from. But if there's one thing I've learned about building relationships is I try to understand what's your perspective, where you're coming from. In understanding where you're coming from, it allows me not to respond the way I wanted to respond. Take for example, okay, I had an appointment with somebody and we already booked the location, we booked the time, and we booked the time for 4 p.m. And by 3:45, I was there waiting. I waited, I waited, I waited. About 4:30, the person still not there. No call, no text, no way to reach out. I was just sitting all day by myself. So now when the person came, the normal reaction was for me to be angry, for me to get upset. You kept me waiting, you wasted my time. But then I had to take a deep breath because sometimes taking a deep breath before you respond, It's an emotional intelligent way to respond to things. Because sometimes if you just want to say what you want to say, you might not say it the right way. But then I took it deep and like, okay, what happened? Why did you come this late? And why there wasn't no communication? Oh, I had to find out that okay, the person's phone fell down on the journey and it was not coming up. And rain fell, there was traffic, the normal Nigeria route. There was traffic, and the person phone fell that the person could not. But luckily, we already spoke about the venue and everything, so the person had to come directly. Now, imagine I've responded the way I ought to have responded. Probably, I wouldn't know that the person's phone had fell down, broke, screen broken. We had to go fix it, or then because there was traffic. But because of emotional intelligence, I was calm enough to ask questions what happened. To asking questions most of the time is one way for us to be able to avoid many complications or many things. Asking what happened or why did you do this? It's very important. So in me asking the question, I was able to understand from the person's perspective what really happened. And because I understood better, it really affected the way I was supposed to respond. And the person thought I was going to respond or react in a way like very harshly or be angry. But the person surprised, like I didn't respond that way. Why? Because I was able to understand where they are coming from. And in understanding that, it really helped me so much to be able to, you know, put myself in their shoe. And that relationship went smoothly. We did what we planned to do. We had a discussion we planned to have. Why? Because emotional intelligence played a key role. Imagine I reacted angrily. Probably the conversation we're supposed to have will not go the way it went, or the time we spent together would not have gone the way we went. So it's very, very important. And one thing I've learned about emotional intelligence coming from my story is it is wisdom to have emotional intelligence. When you apply it when it comes to relationship, it just makes you wiser in the sense that you don't do things traditionally, you don't do things that is uncalled for. You are always on point. Why? Because emotional intelligence helps you to put all these things in perspective. I will end with this so that I will not just be the one talking and talking and talking. One thing I've learned beyond just wisdom is understanding. Understanding is very vital in any kind of relationship you want to build. To understand this person and the person understanding you, it's key. Most of the complications we have, most of the operas we have, most of the fights we have, it's because of lack of. Nobody wants to understand anybody. We are reacting because this is how we feel at the moment. But life is beyond how we feel at the moment. Emotional intelligence will remind you to know that it's not about how you feel at the moment. It's what are the implications of how you feel at the moment. What are the results, the consequences of how you feel? So emotional intelligence for me, I really put me in a place where I tend to understand people. Now, in understanding people, understanding helps me to listen, not to judge. I really want to hear what you have to say. Imagine my friend who came late. I wasn't asking just to judge or react, but I was asking to really understand why did you come late? Why did you kept me waiting for a long time? Why? Like, I wasn't asking to judge, but I was really asking to listen. And because I was really asking to listen, I really paid attention to everything that they had to go through to be where they are. They could have as well go back and say, I'm not coming again. Why? Because my phone is spoiled, I cannot reach you, or they could have well decide to do that. But they made an effort to say, you know what, even though my phone fell down and the screen is broken and there's traffic, I will make sure I'm there when I say I'm. So having this emotional intelligence and this awareness really helps you, to build stronger and better relationship. And at the end of the day, it's not just a one day off. For me, I believe that the journey of emotional intelligence is building more positive relationship. It's not like a destination. It's a journey. The more you know, the more you want to. The more you grow, the more you want to grow. The more you acclimatize yourself with all this awareness, this knowledge, this wisdom, the more you want to keep grooming yourself. And that's how I'm bringing this topic today. As businessmen, as entrepreneurs, in building business relationships, emotional intelligence is very powerful. It's very key in building those positive relationships. Because at the end of the day, positive relationship is not something you find. It's something you build. And building takes time. It's not a light switch. It's not overnight. You have to consistently show the emotional intelligence in you so that people can trust you. And for me, learning that when people see that you are emotionally intelligent, they tend to trust you more. So as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you want people to trust you more. There is need for us to develop a certain level of emotional intelligence to be able to understand that in life things happen, challenges happen, but how do we respond? How do we handle it? How do we cope when unfavorable situation happens to us? It makes us stand out and it makes people really, really want to work with us. I will end with that. I know there's so much to share today. I'm going to pass the mic to King Jamie so he can share with us his thought on this conversation. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. King Jamie, the mic is yours. Go for it, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, no, great stuff, Zion. And, we can talk a lot about the stuff, and I can echo a lot of the same things you said, right? But I see we got some people also shouting out in the comments here. I see William Rochelle said, is this live? Yes, this is definitely live. Hey, Zion, Dr. Osung. Not sure the other guy's name, but hey, other guy. I'm that other guy, right? There we go. So, yes, I am Jamie. Good to meet you, William. Thanks for jumping on. Yes, if you're still on here, if you're joining us, please shout out in the chat. We love to read the comments and hear what you have to say about today's topic. And we'd love to have you come up on stage here and come backstage, and then we'll bring you up to share your comments and anything you want to talk about on today's topic, right? So, but talking about emotional intelligence, right? A lot of times we think about positivity, and positivity, when we think about positivity, we think about we're smiling all the time, right? We're a positive person, right? But really, positivity isn't that all the time, right? What positivity can be is recognizing what we feel before we might say something or before we might act a certain way, right? So like when you think about emotional intelligence, think about how emotions, a lot of times when we think about emotions, we think, maybe we have a positive emotion. Maybe we're thinking about good things, right? Or maybe we think about a bad emotion, right? And a lot of times we think, if we're mad about something, we think that we crossed the line, someone crossed the line or a boundary was crossed. If we think about we're fear, right? We're scared about something. We think that maybe something's uncertain. Maybe it's somebody could be losing a job. I work with people who are losing jobs and who are looking for new jobs. Maybe we're sad about something, right? Maybe we experienced a loss and we don't know how to portray those emotions in our relationship, right? But the goal is not really to eliminate that emotion, right? Whether we feel a certain emotion or somebody else feels that, or our partner feels that emotion in a relationship. We need to understand what that emotion is trying to tell us, right? Or what that person is trying to tell us, right? So like, I think about, my relationship with Erica, right? And I think about sometimes I can get upset about things and I can let my emotions get the best of me. And I might be talking to her about something and I might say, you don't ever listen to me, Erica. Like you never listen to what I have to say. And when I'm doing that, that's bringing a fight possibly, right? That's almost starting a fight because she might come back at me and saying, what do you mean I never listen? I always listen to you. I'm always hearing what you have to say. How could you even say something like that, right? Or I could say that same thing, and instead of saying to Erica, you never listen, I could say, you know what, Erica, I don't feel like I'm really being heard right now. Can we just start all over? Is that okay with you if we start all over? Right? What I'm doing, instead of blaming her for not listening to me, I'm not really inviting a fight at that point. I'm asking for a conversation, right? And that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize when they're talking about emotion, is they let it get the best of them. And then what happens is you don't have that positive relationship, and then a fight starts, and then it doesn't work out for anybody, right? That's how divorces happen. That's how breakups happen. That's how people stop talking to each other, right? So my thing is making sure that we are having a conversation when our emotions get the best of us and not trying to invite some sort of fight or some sort of argument, right? Emotional intelligence isn't really controlling our emotions. It's preventing our emotions from, it's not controlling your emotions. It's preventing your emotions from controlling you, right? We all get upset about things. We all get frustrated about things. All that we can do when it comes to being emotionally intelligent is just learning to take a pause. Just think about what we're going to say to somebody, right? Pause before we react, or before even that person reacts, right? Pause and think about what we're going to say, right? So that's really what I think emotional intelligence brings to the table here, is really not letting those emotions get the best of us, but channeling those emotions and being able to have a conversation about the things that are happening in our life, whether it's something we're going through, whether we're trying to understand our partner better and we're trying to go through things like that. Everything can invite a conversation and everything can be turned into a positive if you handle it the right way, right? So that's kind of what I want you to take away from this. I know Zion had some great things to share too, but I want you to think about, when you're communicating with somebody in a relationship, you want to bring positive, right? A lot of times, many people, we stop listening the moment we disagree with somebody. So if Erica, if Erica's coming at me with something and I don't agree with her, I might stop listening. I might tune it out, and I might say, you know what, I don't like the way you're coming at me with this. I disagree with what you're saying, and then that's not going to help anything. When we channel that emotional intelligence, we want to find out more about why that person is saying something, right? We want to stay curious. If she tells me she's upset with something, I might want to say something like, "What, help me understand, why do you feel that way?" That way she knows I'm listening. I'm inviting a conversation, right? I'm not trying to prove her wrong. If she's trying to tell me something about, let's say she's trying to tell me something about parenting, how she parents Olivia, right? And I'm trying to show her that she's doing this the wrong way and here's how I would do it. No, I want to know why she feels that way. Why is her opinion the way she thinks it is? Why is she talking about this? That's how you bring positivity in your relationship, and that's how you continue to keep those emotions in check and have that intelligence, right? So that's kind of what I feel like when it comes to this conversation. I'm going to pass it over to Annie, I think, here in a second. I just see a couple people shouting this out. I see Christy Williams says hello from Florida. Good to see you. Hopefully it's nice, warm weather down by you. So, yes, I'm excited to see what Annie's going to talk about with this topic here. We shared some good stuff between me and Zion. So, Annie, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, so now, my friends, I think you said it all. Well, you said a lot about this incredibly important topic. I can't find my YouTube channel on my phone yet, but I'll relax. See, my friends, look, the reality is this. So Stanley Green talks about this all the time. So being able to understand and control your emotions is key. It's key to everything. Genuinely, it's key to your happiness. It's key to your success. As Mrs. Z said, it's key to your relationships. It's key to people trusting you. I think it's key to you just living a happy life. I really do. This is one of the most incredible things that I think we all need to learn. When people come unstuck, look around you. We say most people who come unstuck, those people for whom things go wrong, for whom things don't go right. It's down to the emotions. It really is. And you two, I think you've explained it very well. Emotions, our feelings is one thing that's almost we can't control, but how we respond, how we deal with those situations, that's emotional intelligence. And Jamie, you're absolutely 100% right. If there's anything people take away from us today is the pause, I'll be quite happy. And I said, that's the key. That's the key, right? Right. Mr. Z talks about his childhood where when he was younger, he was angry. I was the angriest kid there ever was. Not because I was angry. I wasn't angry. I was a happy kid. I tell you what it was. I hated losing. Oh, Ludo. Yes, Mrs. D. You know what Ludo looks like, right? You know the game. You play the game. I could not take losing. I would have a hissy fit every time I lost. Even when I looked like I was going to lose, I would have a hissy fit. And there was one time I threw a roof slate at someone who beat me at the game, right? And a roof slate got stuck in their head. And I was like, that's not good. That is not good. And another day, that could have gone in their eye. And that would be a crime, right? So I had to know. That's when I thought, maybe I shouldn't be so childish with my emotions when I lose, right? That pause, Christy, as you say, that pause. Now, some people will say to you, count to 5, count to 10. That's what the pause is really. Before you do anything, literally breathe and give yourself time to work out, what do I want from this situation? As you said, Jamie, what would my behavior, my response do for me, do for us? I think when we take that pause, we give ourselves every chance to choose the right thing. That's emotional intelligence. When we don't take that pause, we're always going to react. We're always going to react in ways that don't help us. Trust me. So moving on from when I was a kid, so another big moment for me, was when I started this business, Global.media. I thought everyone was going to be brilliant, great. You got a business that helps people, brilliant. And then like all of us here, Mr. Bill, I see you too, my friend. Many people behave like they don't care. No one cares what you're doing. Only you care what you're doing. People don't care about the problems that you have in your business. It's your problems. It's not theirs, right? So I used to take that as a sign of insult, abuse, lack of care from my family and friends. And so I've told the story many a time where, one day it dawned on me that every time I leave my office, this spot I'm in now, and go downstairs to get a drink, to get food, the family are down there, my wife and kids are down there, right? And every time I go down there, there's always an argument. And I was like, they are all evil. It's their fault. They're the evil ones, right? They hate me. It took me years, like a couple of years to work out, no, it's far from it. It's probably the opposite, right? I'm the one who goes downstairs to upset them. Think of that. I'm the one who goes downstairs with anger. When things in business don't work the way I want them to work, we have emotions, we have feelings about these things, right? And we take it out on other people, even when we don't mean to. This is why it's so important to learn to control our emotions. Now I said we talked about the pause. But there are 5 steps in emotional intelligence. The first thing we need to do is get to understand our emotions. What throws us off, as Mrs. Z said, right? What triggers us? Many things trigger us. Trust me. The more we know what triggers us, the more we can decide what to do when we feel that feeling. That's the first one, right? Once we know what triggers us, then we need to know, how to control that initial response. That initial response. Let me take it from me. It will go away. It's almost not real. It's real, but it's not real. To give you an example, I told you two so far. To give you an example, my biggest upset in business is when someone doesn't pay me. You don't pay me? Goodness me, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna plot your death effectively. Because I played the video in my head. You obviously hate me. You don't respect me. That's why you haven't paid me. And you're just being rude. How dare you be so rude? How dare you take my time and not pay me? Like you said, Jamie, just think about it for a second. Look, every one of us here, we've got things going on. Who knows what's going on in our lives, right? We've all got different things going on. So the clients I used to get very angry with, I would scream and shout. Some would pay, most would just run away, right? Then, when I learned about controlling my emotions, when I learned about positivity, a positive mindset, and a success mindset, I realized it's not them. Again, it's not them. Them not paying me. It's just them not paying me today. It doesn't mean that they're not going to pay me tomorrow. And again, if we repeat the same things, my friend, it means that there's something in it. There's a point that we're trying to make. There's some truth in it, right? I had to learn. Pick up the phone, and just call them and say, what has happened? What's gone wrong? And 100% of the times, I'll get a reason. Oh, sorry, I couldn't do it today. I'll do it next week. Oh, sorry, something else happened. I have to put money somewhere else. So and every single time I chose to have the conversation, I got paid. That's remarkable, right? Now that's truly amazing. And that's just a symptom of controlling my emotions. Don't get angry. Don't kill the world. Don't burn the world down. Don't think anyone hates you. Take it for what it is, right? Also, when someone lets you down, all that's happened in my expectations, what people did was slightly misaligned. If you have a conversation, you find alignment again. So there's no time I haven't been paid. And this happened even last week. I'm saying that when we learn to control our emotions, good things happen. The bad things go away, right? So self-regulation is hugely important. The third thing really, is in terms of how we work. And people don't think of this part of emotions often enough, but this is why Mr. Z does what he does, right? Look, your emotions guide what you do in your business. Take it from me, right? All of us here, we've woken up with fear. Many days of the week, many days, if not most days, right? But we know how to control our emotions to say, right, yes, okay, that could go wrong, but that could go right too. That's part of controlling your emotions, right? Now realizing that how we react decides how our days go. How we react decides what that thing that people talk about, motivation. Maybe it's inspiration more like, right? That's more what really affects us. Control our emotions, realize that we are God-blessed beings. We really are. We can do great things. But yes, things can go wrong too. But when things go wrong, it's not the end of the world. We either win or we learn. Take your pick. Either way, do those big things. Do those things that you want to do. Don't live in fear. See, if you can't control your emotions, fear will destroy you. Your emotions will literally destroy you and destroy your business too. And as Mrs. Z mentioned, the top end of emotional intelligence, empathy. Now, that's number 4 on the list, right? Think about it. See, when someone's talking to you, what do? Do you start planning a response? Oh, Bill's here. I wonder what Bill's going to say. Let me start thinking what Bill's going to say now. No. Now, stop your mind from racing off, right? Instead, just say to yourself, right, let me listen to what Bill has to say. And then let me put myself in Bill's shoes for a moment. Just put yourself in other people's shoes. What are they seeing? What are they feeling? What's happening to them? That gives us a chance to see things from other people's perspective. Then we can better understand where they're coming from. See, that's where trust is built. When we feel listened to, when we feel understood, that's where we build relationships. Without empathy, our world is a more shallow place. We don't really understand. We don't really know. We don't really feel. Well, if I can feel your pain, you can feel my pain. There's much more chance of us finding a way forward, right? Of course, all of this then comes together in number 5 of emotional intelligence, social skills. You can't have friends and relationships unless you can understand other people and understand yourself and control yourself. Emotional intelligence, my friends, is everything. Literally, the day I learned to control my emotions, my world is a happier place. We find that people are happy. People are great people. They want to do good for you. But if you keep breaking out, if you keep breaking down, having hissy fits, they won't want to help you. And that's not on them, that's on you. Think of that for a second. That's our reality. My friends, look, if you get a chance to learn about emotional intelligence, any work you do on your mindset, a good mindset coach will start with your emotions, because they realize that's where you're breaking or making, right? And so listen and work on your emotional intelligence. Part of my emotional intelligence today is Bill's here, and we'd love to have guests on our show. We'd love to have speakers come from the audience. Bill, you're looking very smart, my friend. I'm liking that look. I love that jacket.
Thank you.
I want
Thank
one.
you. I'll send it to you.
It might not fit. How are you doing, Bill? How's your day going?
It's going really well. It's a great Friday. It is, I feel blessed being here. Zion is always so positive in everything that he says. It is challenging because I, as you know, am a ball of fire. So, and I'm trying to maintain that. Hey, Jamie, the other guy.
That's me, the other guy. Yes.
I figured it out now that you put your name up there. I wanted to be polite to everyone on the stage. I didn't want to I knew who Zion was and who Innie was, and I apologize. This is a great conversation because I'm actually dealing with this in the moment. And I have emotional intelligence. I have it 100%. And I'm very self-aware. But I get triggered when I feel as if somebody else doesn't see me or talks to me in a very specific way. What occurs is I go back to this person that my father would say, he cries every time you look at him. Stand up for yourself, boy. So now, if you come at me, I will tell you why you're wrong. I will tell you why I'm leaving this relationship. I am slamming all doors, windows, I'm locking it up because I spent 40 years being afraid to speak up for myself, being a people pleaser. And people sometimes, Zion, this is really what I need help with. People don't understand. I'm not sensitive. The problem is when you piss me off, you don't want to see that side. So generally, I back down. And then people are like, oh, you're so sensitive. I have to approach you softly. No, you don't. You have to respect me and treat me like a human being and not like a commodity or, someone who has influence. And by connecting with me, then you can get someplace else. And I've dealt with that career-wise because I've always been, the person in charge, right? So everyone loves you and they want to show you all this love because you can do something for them. And now, with the podcast piece, I have a little bit of a small audience. And I find that people come to me when they need something. But Innie's the only person, Innie and America are the only people that have ever invited me on their podcast and said, be a guest. Everybody else's podcast, I just do like what I did just now, which is jump on. right? I'll come up, I support, but there's that little trigger, right? Where, you know, where are you for me? I know where I am for you. And how do I contain that? Because there was someone that said recently to me, if you can't do something, then that's okay. And that wasn't the point. I can more than definitely do it. I've already done it. I'm done. I can give it to you right now. But I don't like the way that you're talking to me in this moment. I don't like this feeling that I'm getting. And you can't describe the feeling, but you know what it is. It is minimized or shrunk. And I am a big personality. And I have worked very hard to embrace this big personality, and to shrink for someone else, it doesn't serve me. And I don't know how to deal with that. So I don't want to hear from any. Zion, help me.
Yes, I think you want to upload first. I need to. Yeah. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, I think Bill said, "Can you hear me?" Can you hear me now?
You
Yeah.
started off crackly, but you're
Okay.
fine. You're fine now.
Okay. Okay. As I was saying, I said, firstly, let me give you a round of applause. You know, it's so powerful. You came up on stage to be able, to share with us. Thank you so much. We celebrate you. Thank you for always supporting us. I know we always see your comments, showing up week in and week out. Even though you miss the event, you're like, oh, apologies for us. It means a whole lot. And thank you so much. I love how you said it. I love the analogy you also gave about being able to do for people. And at the end of the day, sometimes people might not be able to reciprocate it, or people might not be able to even recognize the fact that you are there for them. We've all have experienced it. For me myself, I do too. For me, when you were speaking, I could literally say, oh, you are literally talking about me. Why? Because I've been in a place where you give to others, you support others, you're always there for them, and at the end of the day, they don't even blink an eye to say they want to be there for you. And when you stop doing what you used to do, they become offended. They're like, you don't show up for me anymore. You're no longer there for me anymore. Knowing for the fact that they did not play their part. So I've had that feeling before. But if there's something I've learned, on this journey that I'm still learning, for a fact is it's that people might not respond the way we want them to respond. That's the truth. Not everybody. There are some persons, in the multitude of people, there are some persons, a few selected people who will respond the way that they are supposed to respond. Because at the end of the day, not everybody is as sound emotionally like you are, or are really open to truly give their all to support you the way you have done for them. But for me, learning on this journey, I just embrace the fact that, Zion, yes, there are some persons who will never blink an eye to reciprocate what you've done for them, but just keep being your true self. And at the end of the day, there are people out there who will come true for you and do for you what you do for others. So for me, as much as I'm there for everyone, supporting everybody, there are persons who you can go the extra miles for. You can go you can go the mile for people, but there are some in your cycle that you can go the extra miles for. Why? Because they're actually worth going the extra miles for, because they value what you do, they recognize what you do, and they appreciate. And that's how we are talking about building a long-lasting, positive relationship. You know, we can actually have relationship with everybody, but we cannot actually have a long, positive relationship with everybody. The difference is the extra miles. The difference is the people who can actually reciprocate, who can actually show up for you. This might not be exactly the same way you show up, but to some extent they can show up no matter how little it is. So I always say this: there is no effort too little not to make a difference. If you are showing up for me, the ability for me to reciprocate, no matter how small, can just go a long way to make you just keep showing up for me, knowing for the fact that yes, any can still show up for me no matter how small. Zion can still show up for me no matter how small. Jamie can still show up for me no matter how small. Makes a huge difference. So, Mr. B, thank you so much. I can really resonate with you because I'm in your shoe as well. Okay, go ahead.
So, so real quick, I do want to make a distinction there. I don't think that just because we do something, that someone should do something back. You do something
Mhm.
from your heart. You don't. You do it without expectation, right? So that I don't think is my thing. My trigger is when I feel disrespected, and then I stand up for myself, and I feel like I'm being the bad guy, and I hate being the bad guy. But you can't please everybody. And if I'm telling you back the up, you know, right now you're getting a little bit too close, and I'm feeling the fire. You need to back it up. That's a boundary,
Yes.
and that boundary should not be taken as um, I'm too emotional or anything else like that. It's clearly a boundary, and that boundary was set years ago. And I'm just starting to understand it and appreciating the person that will say, hold up, Zion, let me make something clear. It's not about reciprocity. It's about the boundary part. Because once you understand that I'm not looking for you to do the same thing that I'm doing looking for you to do the same thing that I'm doing for you, because I can't always do the exact same thing any has done for me, but it's those little things. It's the little things. And I have been told I need to filter myself or calm it down or don't blow up. And I'm tired of blowing up on people. How do I stop blowing up but still keep my voice? Any?
Look, this is, as you were talking just now, Bill, I realized maybe one of the things that you see that others don't see is what we call microaggressions. The small things that happen
Yeah.
to us that other people don't, they just don't see it, whereas to us it's like a shining light, it's like, damn, how dare you do that? Look, the way I do it, Bill, I come with a mentality. I come with an approach. I think when you do events like this, especially, I learned from day one how to have a different approach, right? What I can't do, Bill, what you never see me do is explode at someone on my stage or at my event. Even in the audience, I just won't do it. Even if you annoy me, I see the microaggression you're talking about, for example, I won't respond. I'll let it go. So maybe one on the one end is pick your battles. Again, I learned that with my kids as well. You can't. Not everything is important. To decide what's really, really important. For you to upset me, Bill, you'd have to work so hard. I would make you literally sweat and bleed before you upset
I will
me.
try harder then.
Keep trying. It doesn't work. I don't respond to most things. I choose to be inoffendable. Doesn't mean I didn't say it. Bill, I saw it. I noticed it, and I've written out. It's in my notebook. I'm just not going to react in public because it doesn't serve me. And but behind closed doors, I will, this, no one here knows who I dislike. No one knows who I have a real problem with. I know who they are. They know who they are too. Because I won't show in public, but I will deal with it in a conversation afterwards. Now, here's my red line that you crossed. And when you crossed it, you didn't upset me. We just can't go forward together. That's it. That's it. That's the end of that. Let me go back a bit, Bill, and say I think our emotions are precious things. For you to upset me means you have some power over me, and I'm not having that. I'm just not gonna give you that power. That's why I don't.
Right on.
That's
Right
why
on.
really, I wouldn't give anyone that control over my emotions. Work hard enough. Yes, I see what you're trying to do. If you're being vindictive or being annoying or being objectionable, but most of the time, no one gets to that sort of status. Let them do what they do. Say we'll respond rationally. We'll respond with what we can. Bill, I know you well enough. We come with love. If you do the opposite, what can we do? Right? We'll get annoyed in the end, but and that will be that. Our relationship is done. Our conversation's done. Right? But until that moment, very few can ever breach that gap between any feeling how it feels to feel annoyed because you're upsetting. But I know what you mean. So maybe I'll leave by saying we're not brick walls. We're human. We have feelings, so we're gonna feel sometime that someone is transgressing against us. But literally, what is the best way to respond to get what you want, Bill? And that's why I ask myself every single moment. What do I do? My event goes belly up. Say my YouTube just didn't play on my phone just now. What do I do? Break my phone? No. I put the phone down and say, okay, YouTube is not that important. It's not important. If I'm on YouTube today, good. If I'm not on YouTube today, on my phone, so what? Right? It's not really that important. Decide what's important to you and tell them openly. See, I tell you what's important to me in my life, Bill. It's my family and my friends. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that in a glib kind of way, right? My family and my friends, they can upset me because if the wife decides to pick at me, I will look at her and say, right, you've done what I don't like you doing. I've told her how it made me feel, as Jamie said, right? If the kids leave the washing up in the kitchen, God Almighty, we're gonna have a conversation. Some people will say, "And it's not that big." To me, that's my boundary. That's the one thing I just can't tolerate. Because when I want to go and cook, make a cup of tea, I want to go and do what I want to do. I don't want to clean up after you first. I'm saying that's my boundary. That's just me, right? And for the washing up thing, I will fight anyone. Right, and so you decide what your boundaries are, and when people cross it, give them the receipt. Oh, that helps. My wife's shouting at me. Let me see what she wants.
You know what, and that's my problem. I do respond, and I do give them the receipts, and then I feel like a jerk afterwards because I don't like conflict, But anyway, Zion. Any knows
Yes.
that I have a very bad bladder, so I've got to leave.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to join.
Before you go, Bill, thank you so much for sharing. One thing I
Thank
want
you.
to say is in maintaining your boundaries, don't be apologetic about it. In the sense that, like you said, after you react, you feel like you start thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that." Because one thing I've learned you have to be stern in maintaining your boundaries. Because if you are not stern in maintaining your boundaries, people will cross the boundaries and do the unthinkable. So I come to a place where I'm never apologetic about guarding my boundaries, about putting people in their place when they tend to cross my boundaries. Like I said, people just do things and think that, oh, don't worry, we will not respond. We will not take it to heart. I will take it to heart if you are crossing my boundaries, if you are doing what I ask you not to do. So don't be apologetic about it. As long as you are doing the right thing, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel respected, you are good to go. So I just wanted to achieve that in before you go.
And doing the right thing is maybe not the right thing for the other person. It's the right
For
thing
that
for
person,
me,
true.
right?
Exactly.
It if I'm walking away, it's because I need to. It doesn't mean anything
Yes.
bad. Anyway, I'm going to have to pee myself. I got to go, guys. Much
All
love.
right.
Enjoy. Talk to you
All
later.
right. Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's been a powerful conversation on the perspective that Mr. B brought. Jamie, what do you have to say? Do you have anything to say concerning that?
No, I think you said a lot of. I mean, like I said, I think what he shared was a lot of good stuff there, and just adding to the conversation. And I think you really kind of talked a little bit and played on what he was saying. So no, I think that, like I said, I think we've all contributed in a lot of different ways. I think we really tapped in to how to control those emotions and how to really channel them into making things positive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look,
Thank you. Yes, King Jim, Mr. Andy, go ahead. Under the system.
sorry to interrupt. I need to go and get my son from his fighting club. So that's my wife. That's why my
Okay.
wife's shouting at me. So my dog's just coming.
Yes.
Rule number one. Rule number one is we don't talk about fight. We don't talk about fight club.
Emotional intelligence they're talking about.
You've got none, darling.
Anyway, have a good evening, my friend.
Yeah,
You take
thank
care.
you so much. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so much, Mr. Annie. Yes, I will.
Thank you, Annie.
Well,
Have a great weekend, my friend.
it's been a powerful conversation from Jamie and Mr. B for the thought it brought in. And for me, I really love that perspective because for some persons, when we react the way we react or do the way things we do, people try to emotionally blackmail us to make us feel that we are the worst person or to make us feel we're not supposed to react that way. But at the end of the day, they trigger your reaction. They trigger the way you reacted or they made you say what you said. But having emotional intelligence is very powerful and it's very, very important, especially when it comes to, you know, dealing with people. And one last point I wanted to bring in is the part where people need to be responsible for their emotions. A lot of people blame their emotions on others. We blame our emotions on people. But at the end of the day, you are in control of your emotions. You are in control of how you react. You are in control of what you say. You are in control of what you do. And that's why it's very, very important that as a person, do not blame people for your reaction. Take responsibility. Own it. It's one way to be emotionally mature. Own your actions, own your emotions, own your responses. Do not blame it on people because we live in a world where people blame people. Oh, I did not do this because of Jimmy. I did not do this because of Zion. I did not do this because of X, Y, Z. Oh, I made this mistake because of this person. Oh, own it. Be responsible for how you react. Be responsible for how you feel. And coming to that place where you can take responsibility for your emotion, it puts you in that place where you can be able to manage them, to stop them from reoccurring. Like, okay, this is my emotions. I reacted the way I reacted. I need to own it. I need to be responsible for it. I need to stand by the way I reacted because it's very, very powerful. When it comes to building relationship on the long run, like I said, it's not a light switch. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes intentionality. And intentionality in our emotional intelligence. We have to pay key attention to our emotions, how we feel, how we think, and how we react because they play a major role in 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 keeping relationship, business relationship, marital relationship, or any kind of relationship that we are talking about. Well, it's been another powerful conversation. Next week happens to be the last day of the month of July and the last Friday of the month. And every last Friday is our gratitude call, our gratitude experience, where we come talk about gratitude, the things we are grateful for in the month of July. It's so amazing that whoa, July is gone. July is far gone, and before you know, we are jumping into August. But then, big appreciation for everyone who are joining us. We appreciate you. Can you give me any last word before we close for today?
No, I think it was a great conversation, and thank you. I want to give a quick special shout out to those in the chat. I know Christy was very interactive, so thank you so much for being a part of the chat, and thank you, Bill, for coming on and sharing your thoughts as well. It was good to have a great conversation about this. Looking forward to next week to share to do our positivity call for July, and yeah, I hope you all have a great weekend and then enjoy yourselves. Enjoy whatever you end up doing this weekend. Please make it a great weekend.
Yes, guys, just to remind you again that it's all about positivity, and make sure that whatever you are doing, do it from a place of love, from a place of kindness, from a place of empathy, and from a place of compassion. Because one kind word can make a difference in people's life. One action of kindness, one action of love can change people's life for good. So instead of responding in a loving way, respond with love, respond with so much kindness, and respond with so much positivity in love. And I told you with that, we are making impact one person at a time. And never forget, when you are positive, you are possible, and positivity is always endless possibilities for you, for me, and for every one of us. We meet again next week, Friday, and I just wanted to wish everyone a wonderful weekend ahead. All right, guys, bye bye.
See you all later.
Every single moment is a new beat to your drama. She's success with global.media.com. And celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.com.